Peer observation means one teacher watching another teacher, usually. Sometimes it might mean 2 or 3 teachers watching another teacher who is a colleague. And perhaps one of the key benefits of it is to do with the essential loneliness of teaching. Teachers are locked in their classrooms with a group of students. They are doing a lonely job as far as teaching is concerned, hoping that it goes well, hoping that the learners are learning. How helpful can it be to have somebody looking at it with you from a sympathetic point of view? So coming back to the question about reflection on one's teaching, how much easier would it be to reflect on one's teaching if one has the help of a colleague, a sympathetic colleague, in that process? I think what one can learn is how, from a professional point of view, one is doing things differently from the colleague who is observing you, which should come out in the discussion afterwards. I don't think peer observation, incidentally, without some kind of discussion afterwards, and preferably also beforehand about what's going to happen and who the students are, is that useful. I also think it's much better for the person being observed if it goes over more than one lesson. In other words, that there is a little series of peer observations. Quite hard to organise, because unless you're doing it in your free time when the observed teacher is working but you aren't working, it's going to cost the institution money. As far as the observer is concerned, in a way I've already said it, that they will be looking at a colleague doing a job similar to what they're doing, possibly with the same kind of group, possibly even using the same materials and activities, and looking at it from the point of view of how differently does she or he do it from the way I normally do it. And more importantly, how differently do the students respond to the way she or he is doing it than the way they respond to me? What, in other words, can I take away from that about my own teaching rather than about his or her teaching? So I think those are 2 benefits. And of course the third big benefit is probably building this team spirit, that people will probably discuss their teaching or their observation together. Hopefully there will be a chance for the observed teacher then to observe the observer, and they can compare notes in a more constructive way. And who knows, it might move on to something like team planning, team teaching, working together in a more collegial way, which again will help with this issue of the lonely job.